Canada has towns that don't feel real. Places where the mountains look painted, the lakes glow turquoise, and the streets are so charming they feel like movie sets built just for you. Towns where people wake up to silence instead of sirens. Where winter looks like a snow globe and summer smells like pine and salt air. And the strangest part? Most people outside Canada have never even heard of them. Tonight, we're traveling across the entire country, coast to coast, to uncover the 10 most beautiful towns in Canada. Not the famous big cities, not tourist traps, real towns people actually live in and quietly refuse to leave. By the end of this video, one of these places is going to live rent-free in your head. Before we start, if you love discovering places that make you rethink your entire life plan, hit subscribe. These videos take weeks of research and editing, and your support is what keeps them coming. And while you watch, tell me in the comments which town you'd move to tomorrow if money wasn't a problem. Let's go. Number 10. Tofino, British Columbia. Tofino sits on the edge of the continent, like it's daring the Pacific Ocean to try something. This is not the polished, city version of Canada. This is raw nature. Wind, salt, rain, forest, waves that roll in with a kind of ancient confidence. Tofino is a surf town carved into the wilderness. You wake up to fog floating through cedar trees. Bald eagles sit on driftwood like they own the place. The beaches stretch forever, not crowded, not commercialized, just endless sand and roaring water. And the light here is different. Sunsets in Tofino don't fade. They explode, orange melting into pink, then purple, then a deep, quiet blue. People stop what they're doing to watch, even locals who've seen thousands of them. Life moves slower. Cafes smell like espresso and wet jackets. Fishermen unload their catch while tourists wander art galleries that look like cabins. It's rugged, peaceful, and strangely addictive. Many visitors come for a weekend and immediately start checking real estate prices. Because once Tofino gets into your bloodstream, it doesn't leave. Number 9. Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario. Niagara-on-the-Lake feels like a town that decided to freeze time at its most beautiful moment. It sits at the mouth of the Niagara River, wrapped in vineyards and old-world charm. The streets are lined with 19th century buildings painted in soft pastels. Flowers overflow from balconies. Horse-drawn carriages still roll past like history never got the memo. And yet, it's not stuck in the past. The town is alive with theater, wine culture, and quiet luxury. You can walk from a boutique hotel to a winery tasting room in under 10 minutes. The air smells like grapes and lake water. In autumn, the leaves turn the entire town into a painting. People come here expecting a day trip. They leave wondering why their hometown doesn't look like this. There's a calm elegance to Niagara-on-the-Lake. It doesn't try to impress you. It just exists beautifully and lets you catch up. Number 8. Banff, Alberta. Banff is what happens when nature shows off. Tucked inside the Rocky Mountains, Banff looks less like a town and more like a fantasy illustration. Snow-capped peaks rise straight out of the earth. Pine forests stretch to the horizon. The Bow River cuts through town like glass. And in the center of it all, people just live. They buy groceries, walk dogs, go to work, under mountains that tourists travel across the planet to see. Winter in Banff is cinematic. Snow falls silently, blanketing rooftops while steam rises from hot springs. Summer is bright, green, and impossibly crisp. Hiking trails start practically at your doorstep. The town itself is cozy and vibrant. Wooden storefronts, fireplaces glowing in restaurant windows, travelers from every country sharing sidewalks with locals who never stopped being amazed they get to call this place home. Banff isn't just beautiful. It's overwhelming in the best way. Number 7. Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. Lunenburg looks like a postcard that somehow became real. Brightly painted houses climb the hills in reds, blues, yellows, and greens. Fishing boats rock gently in the harbor. The Atlantic air carries the smell of salt and history. This is one of the best preserved colonial towns in North America, and you can feel it in every street. Wooden buildings lean slightly, shaped by centuries of storms. Churches stand tall against the sky. The waterfront hums with quiet maritime energy. Life here is deeply tied to the sea. People know the tides, the weather, the rhythm of fishing seasons. There's a groundedness to Lunenburg that makes modern life feel distant and unnecessary. At sunset, the harbor glows gold. The water reflects the houses like a mirror. And for a few minutes, the whole town feels suspended between centuries. It's not flashy, it's timeless. Number 6. Canmore, Alberta. Canmore is Banff's quieter, cooler sibling. Set in the Rockies but less tourist-heavy, Canmore offers the same jaw-dropping scenery with more breathing room. Mountains rise on all sides like guardians. Trails weave through forests and along rivers. Wildlife sightings are just part of daily conversation. But what makes Canmore special is how livable it feels. It's not just a destination, it's a community. Locals gather in independent cafes. Artists sell work inspired by the mountains. Families bike through town while the peaks loom overhead like permanent artwork. Winter brings world-class skiing. Summer turns the valley into a playground of lakes, climbing routes, and wildflower meadows. And every single day ends with the mountains turning pink in the evening light. Once you see that happen enough times, leaving becomes very hard. Number 5. Quebec City. Quebec City feels like Europe accidentally landed in North America and decided to stay. Cobblestone streets wind through stone buildings older than most countries. Cafes spill onto sidewalks. Church bells echo across the old city walls. French is spoken casually, musically, like part of the architecture. The historic district is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but people don't treat it like a museum. They live inside it. They raise families here. They argue about politics in bakeries that smell like butter and sugar. Winter turns Quebec City into something magical. Snow piles high against centuries-old walls. Lights glow warmly from windows. The entire city feels like a Christmas film that forgot to stop filming. And yet, in summer, it's vibrant, green, and alive with festivals. Quebec City doesn't just preserve history, it breathes it. Number 4. Nelson, British Columbia. Nelson is a mountain town with a soul. Nestled beside Kootenay Lake and surrounded by peaks, Nelson is known for its artistic spirit. Murals cover brick buildings. Independent bookstores and music venues fill the downtown core. There's a sense that creativity isn't optional here. It's the town's language. The scenery is dramatic. Lakes shimmer against forested slopes. Sunsets stretch forever. In winter, nearby ski hills pull powder lovers from around the world. But Nelson's beauty isn't just visual. It's cultural. People move here chasing a different pace of life. They stay because they find a community that values nature, art, and authenticity over status. Nelson doesn't try to compete with big cities. It quietly proves it doesn't need to. Number 3. Whistler, British Columbia. Whistler is world famous, but somehow still intimate. At first glance, it's a ski resort town. Perfect slopes, Olympic history, luxury lodges. But look closer and you'll see a real community pulsing beneath the tourism. The pedestrian village is alive year-round. Musicians playing in open squares, hikers returning from alpine trails, cyclists covered in dust and grinning like children. Winter is electric. Snow falls thick and soft. Fireplaces crackle. The mountains feel endless. Summer reveals another personality entirely. Lakes warm enough to swim in, wildflower meadows, trails that seem to climb straight into the clouds. Whistler isn't just beautiful, it's alive in every season. Number 2. Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. Charlottetown carries a gentle coastal elegance. It's small, colorful, and deeply connected to the sea. The streets are lined with Victorian architecture. The harbor sparkles under open skies. Everything feels approachable, human-sized, welcoming. There's a literary romance to the place. Anne of Green Gables' energy lingers in the air. Rolling fields, red cliffs, quiet beaches stretching into the horizon. Life here is slower by design. People greet each other by name. Farmers' markets fill weekends. Seafood arrives fresh and simple. Sunsets over the water stretch long enough to remind you that time is flexible if you let it be. Charlottetown isn't trying to impress anyone. It's content being beautiful. And that confidence is contagious. Number 1. Lake Louise Village, Alberta. Lake Louise doesn't look real. The lake is an impossible shade of turquoise, fed by glaciers older than civilization. Mountains rise like cathedral walls around it. The air is so clear it feels sharpened. People travel thousands of miles to stand on that shoreline for 5 minutes. And some people never leave. The tiny village nearby exists in permanent awe of its surroundings. Life here is quiet, grounded, and shaped entirely by nature. Hiking trails, frozen winters, mirror-like mornings. Every day feels like stepping inside a nature documentary. At sunrise, the lake glows pale blue. At sunset, the peaks burn gold. In winter, the surface freezes into a sheet of glass. It's not just beautiful, it's sacred. And once you've seen it with your own eyes, every other lake feels like a memory trying to compete. Canada hides beauty in plain sight, not in skyscrapers, not in neon lights, but in towns where mountains, oceans, forests, and history still shape daily life. Places where people don't just visit, they belong. And maybe that's why these towns stay unforgettable. They remind us that a different life is possible. Slower, quieter, closer to the earth, closer to ourselves. If one of these towns made you stop and imagine a new life, subscribe. There are dozens more places like this waiting to be discovered, and we're just getting started. And tell me in the comments, which town stole your heart? I read every comment, and your answer might inspire the next video. Until then, keep exploring.